Welcome into 101sports.com alongside Rams and NFL insider Tony Softli. I'm Anthony Stalter of Pro Football Sunday. And Tony, we don't get a chance to talk during the week a lot about free agency and the happenings around the NFL. But let's start off with Jared Cook. He signs with the Rams, 5-year deal. What were your instant reactions off that signing?
Oh, I thought it was a great signing, Anthony. A 6'5", 248-pound tight end that plays about 70% in the slot. He is a wide receiver in a tight end body, very freakish athlete. You look at his overall production, you're not amazed by it or overwhelmed by it. But you know what? I think what Shoddy's going to do is mismatch him with safeties and a nickelback inside. I see a lot of production and a lot of use out of a guy that I don't think the Titans really took advantage of, to be honest with him. Yeah,
a lot of people look at his receptions totals over the last couple of years, but you got to remember how he's utilized in that offense. And to me, correct me if I'm wrong, but I kind of see this as a counter move to Danny Amendola leaving. You can use him in the slot. You can use him to go up the seam. We saw what happened when the Rams played the Buccaneers last year when Lance Kendricks was able to attack the seam. I love this signing for the Rams.
You know what? I don't know if it's Danny Amendola. I think for me it's more like Brandon Gibson. Danny Amendola still might have a chance to come back here, and they will take him open arms. Trust me when I say that, because he was a difference maker and a playmaker. But I think he replaces Brandon Gibson in a heartbeat.
Well, let's talk about some of the other free agents that the Rams may be able to re-sign or they may be able to exit here. Steven Jackson, Amendola, who we just mentioned, Brandon Gibson. Steven Jackson still looks like the fits would be Green Bay, Atlanta, Denver. There's some reports that Green Bay might be the likely destination. Amendola, you've heard rumors about the Eagles and the Titans and maybe a team like Buffalo. Where do you see some of these former or soon-to-be former Rams going?
Steven Jackson really has his choice on where he wants to go, and you hit it on the head. Green Bay, talked to my sources up there. They don't think Ted Thompson's going to pull the trigger on a big running back in free agency. He just doesn't normally do that. He really builds it through the draft. Atlanta is probably the most likely place for him to land, Steven Jackson, because they actually had talks last year before the trade deadline. Denver would be a scary place because not only is the defense in place, you got Peyton Manning, you got Decker, you got Thomas at the receivers, they got a good tight end. That is really the best scenario for me when I look at personnel for Steven Jackson to go.
Boy, all three of those teams would be scary because all three of them have, obviously, they have quarterbacks. All three have dynamic passing games, especially Green Bay, especially Atlanta that now gets Tony Gonzalez back. Were you surprised that Gonzalez came back out of retirement?
You know what? I was a little surprised. Anytime you have to talk a player into coming back, there's something in my heart that's wrong with that. Is he a good player? Yes. One of the best, if not the best? Yes. And will he be effective in his 17th season? There's no question about it. Tom Dimitroff, the general manager in Atlanta, has to draft a tight end because this will most likely be his last year.
Quickly, give me some first reactions. Percy Harvin goes to Seattle in a trade. Anquan Boldin goes to San Francisco in a trade. Those obviously are two trades that will impact the Rams in the NFC West. What were your instant reactions out of those?
Wow. It was wow because the NFC West just got better, more playmakers. I think Percy Harvin, to me, in Seattle, he is a toy. I mean, he's a punt returner. He's a kick returner. They're going to line him up in the slot. They're going to use bubble screens with him. The thing about it is they won't be able to put that 8-man in the box now and stop Marshawn Lynch. They're going to have to respect that edge play of Percy Harvin. So that really changes the dynamics of that offense, and Russell Wilson has another weapon. Anquan Boldin with the 49ers, opposite of Crabtree. Yeah. The most productive wide receiver in postseason play last year. This guy is not only a leader, he helps the young guys. This guy is a playmaker and a difference maker on the short and intermediate game. San Francisco really got better.
Absolutely. In Seattle, I mean, I would almost put that offense right now stacked up against Green Bay and Atlanta and San Francisco with the fact that they have Russell Wilson, who is a guy that you've touted from day one with the read option and the things that he can do with his arm strength. Right. Marshawn Lynch is obviously still the bell cow there. And then you have guys like Percy Harvin, Sidney Rice, and the tight end is very good as well.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Leon Washington, would he be a big pickup for the Rams?
For the Rams, absolutely. I'd love to see that. How many times last year did we talk
You're
about
holding your breath.
Kickoff returns and punt returns being more of an impact for the Rams? I think he would be a great fit. Where would he slide into the depth chart, though? At running back, or it doesn't matter? He's just a special teams guy.
You know what? If I were those guys at the Rams, and Coach Fisher, I got all the respect for, he can do his thing. You know what? I would just have one position on the 53-man roster, on that day game roster, just for him because he's that explosive and that much of a difference maker.
Tony Softli, Anthony Stalter, join us for Pro Football Sunday, 9 to noon on Sundays. We'll have more free agency and draft coverage. For Tony Softli, I'm Anthony Stalter.